Good evening, everybody, and after 3 loads, we are back, we are live. It is time for your G1 League Phase 2 Asia Division action to kick off. I'm LD, I'm joined here by GoDz from Beyond the Summit, and we are casting First Vietnam versus MUFC. This one, a best out of 3, and currently we are just getting into game number 1. There was a bit of a dispute over who was going to have first pick, and you could see the effects now. MUFC choosing to ban that Wisp since First Vietnam chose Radiant side first, and the way this tournament's rules work is the Radiant automatically get first pick, and that Radiant Wisp solo mid, obviously a lot stronger since the camps are very close to mid. You can easily stack the big camp, farm it, and also farm the small camp in between the waves. So MUFC not wanting to deal with that. They're going to ban out Wisp off the bat, even though this would almost never happen against any other team.
Yeah, you may as well ban it, especially against a team who you don't know too much about. If you do know one thing that they like to run this solo mid Wisp, take it out of the pool. And it does give away a lone druid first pick, but MUFC, a hero they're going to be very comfortable going up against as they do grab the Shadow Demon life. So we're getting really fast in this draft. Yeah, introduced to tournament. This is the G1 League, and I'm excited for the return of this event. Probably my favorite event of 2012 after the International.
It wasn't necessarily the most hyped event. I mean, if you look at the G League, I think people were a little bit more excited about just because of LGDN, but I think it's the most fun Chinese event. It's got kind of this relaxed, almost campy feel, especially to the LAN finals. This is the league that did all those funny videos, the Burning Your Soul video, the Director 8 video. These guys, they have a good sense of humor. They also have a very special G1 League song, which I will definitely be playing. They recorded this at the LAN finals towards the end of last season, and, well, I don't know if these guys have a future in music, that's for sure. And I'm saying that as someone who's tone deaf, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll be able to say too much shortly, as we'll be doing some songs of our own in the coming weeks. So we shouldn't be judging too much, LD.
I'll try to suspend the judgment just a little bit. But as far as this matchup goes, especially with that Wisp sort of off the board, something that, I mean, the First Vietnam I've used a lot. I think we both agree MUFC should have the upper hand just in terms of sort of team skill and experience, but I would not be surprised if First Vietnam can, if not pull the upset, then at least take a game off of them. I think they're a bit underrated, and overall they've shown not just a good Wisp play, but some good teamwork and coordination. They're sort of like, I'd say maybe a tier 3 team in Southeast Asia, but kind of close to that tier 2, kind of just one step below a lot of the other top teams.
Yeah, they're kind of just, they've been around for some time, and it really seems the last couple of weeks they've made some improvements to their game in the Dota Talk League, and just recently where they've been playing a lot better in the initial stage of this G1 League qualifier. So they're looking a lot stronger all of a sudden, and I like where they've gone with the start of their bans and picks. The Lone Druid Weaver, they've got 2 of their core heroes. They've made sure to get a strong support in the Rubik. And MUFC at the moment, they've just got their strong tri-lane, but the Weaver pick matches up pretty well up against the Lifestealer. Lone Druid Entangle's a nice way to lock him down in the Rage form. So you've got a team and lineup which is somewhat geared for battling what MUFC have picked up themselves.
Yeah, I think the response from First Vietnam, very intelligent. Weaver is a really good laning counter to Lifestealer. He can actually be burst down, though, by the Shadow Demon Lina combo, and if you use that Sakuchi at the wrong moment, you will just be dead, as there's a long cooldown early on. So we'll see what the matchups are. The manager from First Vietnam is actually messaging me, and to no surprise, he's telling me, my team likes Wisp, smiley face. So they wanted their Radiant mid Wisp. They won't get it, and I'm curious to see, how do they bounce back? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they actually got this pretty much every game through the G1 League qualifiers. I don't think anyone banned it against them, at least not early on.
I can't correct you for a second, because you were the ones casting all those matches while I was self-casting some other shenanigans. So.
I don't know if they got it every time, but I'm pretty sure they got it at least 2 or 3. So
okay,
we'll have to see how practiced they are when they don't get the Wisp. I think that's basically going to be the interesting thing in this game. But draft-wise, it seems like a solid response to what MUFC are showing.
I've seen them in the past, and they didn't used to run the solo mid Wisp, but that was a couple of months back. Back when they played whatever GST, I want to say. But it sounds like it's a new strategy which they've been doing well. And I also saw them at the Asia. You cast them back then as well, back in November,
oh, wow.
December.
That feels like a century ago.
Yeah, it was
it's like 4 months.
4 months ago. Yeah.
A century in Dota time.
They weren't running solo Wisp back then, but that was a long time ago. Just mostly the same players. Misa was playing back then, as was Ares. The other 3 players, maybe the same players. They're playing under different nicknames, it looks like, at least not nicknames I remember. But it's a team who's sort of been around and sort of been the team, sort of the go-to team in Vietnam, at least for some time. And they're going to have their 4th pick coming up now. they've already got their sort of two main sort of farmers. They need some kind of solo mid. I feel like they need some solo mid who's not too farm dependent, someone which can control the tempo of the game quite a bit here.
Completely agreed. Something like a Beastmaster perhaps would be a decent choice here.
Yeah, Beastmaster. Brewmaster's actually been banned out. Otherwise, you're looking maybe at a Night Stalker even. To sort of start ganking and being a bit aggressive here. But yeah, just something nice and tanky, not too farm dependent for that mid lane. I don't really want to see them heading towards something like a Queen of Pain. They need some more lockdown, some more team fight control. Something that can also maybe pick up a mech for the team, for stuff, all these useful utility items which they can't really have anyone buy with their current lineup. They get the Undying though, so it looks like just another one of their support heroes for now.
Interesting. Yeah, that could be the tri-lane, the Rubik Weaver Undying. Pretty damn strong and very hard to kill, as Weaver's elusive, Undying is tanky, and zombies hit pretty damn hard. So if they want to run that as an aggressive tri-lane, that could be pretty effective, even against Invasion's draft, which is very, very strong in the tri-lane with those three heroes they've already picked. But I think that First Vietnam could actually go toe-to-toe and possibly even come out ahead there, just because of how strong Undying and Weaver are in those scenarios. We'll have to see, though. It's a bit risky if they go for that, but whenever you see the Undying, you do assume the aggressive tri-lane will be the choice. To go back to your points, a hero that needs a mech, a hero that isn't that farm dependent, a hero that can control the game. I actually think Beastmaster would be perfect here, because Inner Beast also synergizes extremely well with Lone Druid, and they would then have a pretty decent 5-man plus, with the Lone Druid getting Inner Beast Star, the Undying just being a nice hero to push with the Tombstone, and on top of that, well, he's great against Lifestealer, and right now they don't have any way to really deal with that Lifestealer reliably. You have Entangle, but you can't count on it. So we'll see what they go for, but definitely a tempo controller, someone who could just get aggressive and force these invasion support, or these MUFC, God, it's so hard to get the name right with their 3 sponsors now, but to basically put them a bit on the back lines in the mid game. Yeah,
as for MUFC, well, right now they haven't got a single solo hero. They've got their trial and they need their solo mid there, their offlane solo as well. Heroes like Nature's Prophet still in the pool for that offlane, Bounty Hunter as well, but the solo mid, they like to run a bit of Queen of Pain. Every now and then they also like to run the Puck as well as the TA banned out. So I think we see maybe a Queen of Pain or a Puck pick up here. Puck's got a bit more team fight control.
I like that.
The Queen of Pain offers a bit more sort of DPS and on raw damage output, but I think the Puck does really fit in well with this. Then they can get some kind of semi-carry, even something like a Nature's Prophet as well to go in the side lane and offer a bit of DPS as well.
So here's sort of the situation for MUFC, and something we've seen them do before is they may just look to dodge that tri-lane and go aggressive, because if they expect First Vietnam to run an aggressive tri-lane, it's going to be a Lone Druid solo in the safe lane, and you can easily first blood him at level 1 with a Lifestealer leading a Shadow Demon if you just push the wave and then dive with the push into that disruption, not Split Earth, but Light Strike Array, I should say. And so they could find a first blood there, and Queen of Pain's not going to die against Rubik Weaver Undying unless she really makes a mistake. So if they want to go aggressive tri-lane, that might be a really solid way to get that early first blood, something that I'm not sure if First Vietnam would be anticipating. But we'll have to see. The mind games could mount, and with the Puck being picked, First Vietnam's lane seems straightforward. Puck mid, Lone Druid safe lane, aggressive tri-lane with the Weaver, Rubik, Undying. Will they do it? Not 100% sure, but if you're MUFC, maybe look to dodge that, punish it with an aggressive tri-lane of your own, and try and first blood that Lone Druid.
I think it's a strong offensive tri-lane, but I think it's pretty risky to put that against a potential MUFC tri-lane. I think it's also likely that they could just look to send the Lone Druid to the off-lane, as it is a hero using that pull around camp, and if he's up against a tri-lane, he can actually get himself some XP. Last pick for MUFC though, it is going to be a Tinker. So the Tinker, Queen of Pain, neither of them really good at going to the offlane. So it looks like MUFC are going to be, if anyone's going offensive tri-lane, it's going to be MUFC here, because they haven't really got the obvious offlaner. Whereas for Cyberpink, First Vietnam, they can send the Lone Druid into that offlane.
Yeah, we'll see what the teams decide to do here, but yeah, with the Tinker, Queen of Pain picks, we most likely expect. Well, we'll see. Could even send the Lifestealer solo to the off lane, but won't be an easy matchup. For the moment, they're defending their jungle. On the side of MUFC, we've got TFG playing the Tinker, rushing the bottle. Expect him to be going mid. On the Lifestealer, at least shield picked up. He's a stand-in. Actually, is that just a random stand-in?
It's Hontrash player.
Oh, it's Hontrash player. Okay. Just messing us up with his name. We have Winter on the Shadow Demon. Sentries and Observers picked up. Wang on the Lina. Last but not least, FCFZ playing that Queen of Pain. So really one of his 2 favorite heroes along with that Templar Assassin.
Yeah, absolutely. Over on the Radiant side, we have got the First Vietnam Cyber Pink team. Misa playing the Weaver. Secret playing the Puck. We've got Thai Food playing the Rubik. We've got Undying being played by Ares. And then finally the Lone Druid being played by Boss.
So it looks like they're not really sure what they want to do with the lanes, but now they're sending 3 towards top. So we are going to see Cyberpink or not Cyberpink, but First Vietnam, sponsored by Cyberpink, going to the aggressive tri lane. And on the side of MUFC, not dodging it. Gonna fight this one head on into the Tombstone, into the Decay, which at level 1 Undying is not that strong. I would say at level 1, MUFC probably do have the stronger tri lane, but once this lane gets to level 3, if the Tombstone is deployed at the right moment, we may see MUFC get the first blood, but they could easily lose 2 or 3 heroes. They're going to check the rune top, there will be a double damage bottom, and onto Winter they're going to go. Right off the bat, lifting him back, pulling him in. This is a long way to dive, though. We'll have to see. It looks like in the end, MUFC are just going to back off. That Sakuchi has a long cooldown, the Decay, the only spell the Undying has. So no first blood, but potential early aggression lurking in the sidelines.
They force out some tangos. It's a little bit of chip damage challenge, and not really too much mana expended as well. Undying Decay, very, very spammable at level 1, and also very cost effective, especially if you're hitting multiple heroes with it. So as you said, Trial versus Trial at top. MUFC don't opt to dodge it, and I think Lifesteal does alright here, and I think the big key thing here is that MUFC at level 1 do have the slightly stronger trial, and they just don't want to be giving Undying this level 3, 4 uncontested, because then you go up against Decay, a couple points in Tombstone, and a point in Soul Rip, and this tri lane for First Vietnam is going to be much, much stronger.
One thing that will hurt for First Vietnam in this tri lane is that they did not foray into the enemy jungle at level 1, so they don't have wards up, the pull is not blocked. They also failed their first D ward, trying to get that lane ward out. The ever-evolving metagame of lane wards just continues in the Southeast Asian scene, as well as the Asian scene in general, and because of that, they will fall behind quickly in terms of levels if they're not able to contest this Decay being spammed out. They don't really have the best tri lane to contest the neutrals. Like, Weaver can go in and chip away on them, but he's always got to be worried about getting caught out by that Disruption Light Strike Ray combo, and they also don't have a hero like Lifesteal who can just rage walk in and easily steal creep. No Keeper of the Light. They're going to go now with a Disruption to start, a Light Strike Ray to follow, just ensuring they get the last hits on these creeps. So off the bat, First Vietnam at a bit of a disadvantage in this tri lane. And then as far as the 2 solos go, Puck and Lone Druid are winning their lanes pretty handily for the moment.
Yeah, very, very early days here in the mid and bottom lane, but Lone Druid, a 1v1 matchup against the Queen of Pain, should have the slide edge, especially if we see him go for the fast Tranquil Boots.
Top lane.
Mid lane. Oh.
Here we go. Wang gets thrown back into Misa, who has Sakuchi. It looked like they were going to go, but they actually threw him back. I thought they'd throw him towards their team and then go, but they decided to play it safe.
Yeah, as for the mid lane, Tinker versus Puck, I'd say fairly even matchup there. Especially we're seeing, we've got a point in laser right at the start. Just the 1 point is what you need for the missed chance to help with the last hitting.
Well, TFG was behind by like 3 or 4 CS, but suddenly he's tied up, so he last hits perfectly on that next wave and a half or so, and now in a comfortable position. And the nice thing is with that laser, you can't phase shift it. Once it comes out, it is going to hit, so you can dodge like the actual cast, but it's not going to be wasted cooldown.
Yep, so top lane, Winter's going to head back in. He's helping check these runes. 2 minutes in, he goes, make sure that if there is a top rune, he's going to be able to help grab it. And we're going to have him come right back to top lane now that it has been picked up. And for MUFC, a slow-paced start. They're using these pools as much as possible. And I think that's the key thing in the trial and burst trial. Deny as much XP as you can.
I think if this laning stage proceeds the way it is, definitely advantage to MUFC. As long as their 2 solos are doing reasonably well and Lifesteal's getting farm, once their Tinker's Boots of Travel, it is going to be hard for CP to actually break towers because they don't have a natural mech builder who's getting farm. Sure, Undying can build it, Ruby can build it, but they're not farming much. Weaver, a hero that's vulnerable to the mobility of Tinker +1, like a Lifestealer. So going into the mid game, if the lanes continue being basically break even or slight advantage MUFC, I would say strategically really favors them a lot, especially because First Vietnam is going to fall behind on levels in this aggressive tri lane. So we'll see what they do, but for the moment, things looking good for MUFC.
Yeah, they're even getting some nice big neutrals here. The supports, this big dark.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of gold, a lot of experience, and not being contested.
Yeah, it was actually an accident. Winter accidentally pulled the Radiant Camp to it, so the Radiant Camp kind of came over, started hitting it, died to it, and it got it down to half HP, so they're like, oh, we'll easily finish this off. So some easy gold going the way of the supports, and XP more importantly. That gets level 3 to both Shadow Demon and Lina, compared to the level 2 supports on the Radiant side, so that's a nice little edge.
Oh, they're going to go top lane, starting with the Disruption. Now the Light Strike Ray to follow. Do you really want to focus the Undying? Apparently they do. Meanwhile, mid lane, it looks like there might be a first blood, but Ares gonna die first. Now the chase is on mid. TFG giving chase onto Secret. He played that amazing solo with mid wisp before. He's got a phase shift. He's baiting this one out. He's got to drop it soon though. He will orb away. Phase shift has already been popped. He's got 6 stick charges. He's not using them yet. Now we'll pop him. He gets lasered. He's still running. He's still juking. He's got that silence. It won't matter. Down he goes. I think he had an extra phase shift there, but probably was dead anyway. So off the bat, first blood and an additional kill Actually, first blood going to MUFC there. So they get first blood, they get the 1v1 kill mid, and things looking good. Although counter kill top from the Weaver, so when it's all said and done, 2-2, but still advantage MUFC.
Yeah, advantage MUFC, and they're solo mid as well, getting a kill, which is a big thing here. So they're winning mid lane. Top lane, it's the 2-for-1 trade going the way of first Vietnam, but getting the first blood MUFC, it does give them that slight edge. And mid lane, Tinker really played that well. He had the haste rune. He just beat Puck to the top rune. That was the key thing there. Puck was beating him there, but the haste rune allowed him to get there, grab the illusion rune, deny it from the Puck, and then with that haste rune, he finishes off the Puck. So really nice play there. Rotation now coming in. It's actually at bottom lane. Lena's coming in for a very early gank here, and it's actually going to land the Light Striker array. FCFC needs one more right click. He's going to get it. And this is a really unexpected rotation from Lena, but it pays off for MUFC.
And it shows you the confidence they have in this Lifestealer. Now that he's gotten some early farms, some early golden experience, he's not an easy kill. For the first Vietnam tri-lane, the strength of their tri-lane, as we do see a rotation mid, onto TFG, throwing him back into this Puck. The silence not being used yet. Now the orb being missed. Oh no, this gank could turn around. That March does big damage. Secret not gonna die. Yes, he is. This might be not a double kill, but wow. I mean, just too late on the silence there. Lets the March come out. Huge blunder. I'm not sure if there's delay at play, but that was not well played by Secret, and a costly failed gank. And things really looking good for MUFC now on this landing stage.
Yep, unfortunately for TFG, Rune's going to be spawning top. He was hoping for it at bottom, and it looks like he's just going to be heading back to Fountain now as a result. He leaves the mid lane for Wang Wang, and, well, TFG, I like how he's thinking, oh, I'll go to TP out, then suddenly he's like, oh, wait a second, this guy's dead. I've got this kill.
Yeah, that March of Machines does way too much damage. You cannot fight in it for more than like 2 or 3 seconds as a support, or you will basically start losing all your health. You can try and sort of dodge the machines and run in between them, but you basically have to be Neo in the Matrix to pull that off reliably. And you know, the issue with the first Vietnam tri-lane, it's not good at killing the Lifestealer. It's good at killing the supports, but when the supports aren't there, they're pulling the small camp, or they're just ganking other lanes. Well, if the Lifestealers had a good start, you're not getting any kills, so things not going well for them. Top lane, Winter looking for disruption, has the Light Strike array on Wang Wang to follow it up, gonna land it, double damage rune as well. Not being thrown out yet, but now it will. Typhoon in trouble, down will go. The easy counter kill, but zombies on the move. They get 1 support, they're looking for 2. This will be a double, going the way of first Vietnam, and we talked about it. The power of Tombstone in the tri-lane, especially against supports like these, pretty easy counter kills, and a good trade for first Vietnam.
Yeah, the squishy supports in the MUFC side just can't fight Undying, and this is Undying who has gone 3 points in decay. The strength still doesn't change, but that damage changes, and that if they get hit by 2 decays, they're practically dead already. They're sitting on maybe 200 HP at that point at most. And Weaver, well, 1 Chikuchi, they're down to 100 HP. 1 Gemini attack, and they're dead. So 2 decays and Weaver damage. They can't stand in this lane. So I think going in for kills at top lane, it's just not the right move for MUFC. Sure, it's almost a guaranteed kill with a disruption into Lena stun plus Dragon Slave with the Soul Catcher, but they're almost always going to be giving up 2 kills if they're going to be going on Rubik. They have to do more, and I think they can't really try and get kills at top lane, and they're not going to do so.
They're smoked, they're going bottom. Puck's been waiting here for a while, trying to go on the Lone Druid, who I just want to point out for those who didn't catch it when I moved the camera down here, he actually ult-dodged the Queen of Pain Shadow Strike, so a nice start from him, but Secret will get caught out. Is he going to be able to get off that phase shift? He is. Perfectly timed. The stun just not quite there. Secret gets away. Has a haste turn as well. Now the bear working on FCFC, so a gank failed by the Puck, but also a smoke gank failed by the 2 supports, and Secret gonna hoof it out of here. Actually, maybe not. There's your stun, but do you really want to focus, boss? They do have the Queen of Pain ultimate. It is there. Not dropping it yet. Puck is juking. Gets Wang Wang with the orb. Then phase shifts to the low ground. Secret is showing himself off as the hidden weapon for this team. Now the Tombstone. Winter in trouble. First Vietnam on the chase. Nice. Oh, the phase shift actually not quite there. It looked like it was going to be enough, but just a second too slow. Now TFG joining the fight. No rockets from him. Hasn't used them yet. Boss is actually going to get away. Rockets weren't thrown out immediately and not able to find the opening. Maybe they were just cooling down. He TP'd in. Did not catch that, but when it's all said and done, well, Weaver and Leicester left alone on an island top. And speaking of that Weaver, he's actually out farming Hantrash Pro, or Hantrash players, so doing pretty well.
1 CS difference there.
Well, considering that there were so many pulls in the way the lane started, yeah, it's pretty solid. And obviously, it's not an easy lane being in the off lane and having your supports die early on. So things going well there as far as golden experience. Still a lead for MUFC, but considering how this game started, first Vietnam have to be pretty happy that they've pulled things back a bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting that all 3 lanes, both teams have their main heroes farming. All the top 6 heroes in the game all sitting around that 30 CS mark. Weaver slightly ahead on 37, and a few heroes a bit higher up, but everyone who should be farming, is getting some farm here. So we're going to be having an interesting mid-game with all these heroes having items. Lone Druid, though, maybe he's going to be accepted because he's being ganked up again at the bottom lane boss. There's nowhere to run and hide, but there is an Undying TP.
Oh!
Wait, it's going to miss. It hits the Undying, but it needs to hit that Lone Druid, but the March of the Machines. You mentioned it does too much damage. It's still doing too much damage. 2 kills go to MUFC's way, though. And so they also get the Undying under the tower.
Oh.
Weaver's now TP'd in as well, and well, he found a Tinker, but it's still a win for MUFC.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Wang Wang gets picked up by Secret, so they get that additional counter kill, but they are losing their Lone Druid repeatedly, and even if he's not dying, he's running back to the base, he's not getting a whole lot of farm, he's sitting, waiting for his Tranquil Boots to cool down, and that could have been a lot worse. If that Queen of Pain ult hits too, they probably get out scot-free, and the March of the Machines, I mean, you completely whiff your Queen of Pain ult, no problem. We have March. March is always there when you need it. It's like those home security system commercials, and things looking still reasonably good for MUC. I still favor their composition heading into the mid-game. It's not the first Vietnam can't win, but it's going to be tougher. Mid lane, they're going to go in again. This time it'll be on Secret. Now, Tinker charging in. Rockets to fly. Orbing away. Porch just out of March range. There is no laser. It's only level 1. Not going to be enough, I don't think. And in fact, it won't be. Oh, TFG. Backstep from Typhoon. Throwing him in. The 17-year-old doing what he can. The manager was really high on this team for this player for First Vietnam. He said he thought he might be the best player on the team. We'll see if that's the case. They're diving in mid. Wang Wang to fall. Trades constantly. What is this game? There's so much aggression. So many dives, so many overextensions, but lots of entertaining Dota here. And we're only getting started for today's G1 League Phase 2 Asian Qualifier action.
Yeah, nice bit of play there from Wang Wang. He's redeemed himself a bit. He's actually 1-5 right now, but he managed to bring down the puck before he went down. And
poor guy.
9 kills on each side at 11 minutes in, man. This is Southeast Asian Dota at its finest.
You know, I said I favored MUFC's composition, but if the trades are going like this, you just can't have a favorite. There's no way to give a team an advantage, because if they're making mistakes, if they're playing sloppy, you might strategically have a stronger team, but it can easily be turned around. Winter's lurking top lane, wants to maybe go on Misa here, but has dust, but you can always time-lapse that off, so we're not going to see anything for the moment.
Yeah, and for First Vietnam, this Weaver isn't doing amazing as far as CS goes, but has a ton of kills.
Oh, Secret jumps in, eats a Laguna in the face, then orbs away, still dodging bullets. Tinker comes in, rockets to fly, there's no phase shift, he will go down. Could have lived, but wasn't ready for the boots of travel, and a split-second slow to react there. Pays with his life.
Well, apart from the Lone Druid, I think for First Vietnam, they're in an alright position now. Weaver with a lot of farm. They've got Pakua's levels, has managed to pick up 5 deaths. Ugh, not exactly pretty, but you've got your level 8, you've got your levels. You need to start being a bit more fluid with your movements around the map and making sure you have something going your way. Get some ganks off. And for First Vietnam, well, they've even got a level 7 on the Rubik here, so there's supports as well, level 6, level 7. They can fight MUFC in a head-on team fight. They just have to be really careful with their positioning and not to get chipped away too much by this Tinker before the fight breaks out, because that rocket Mart spam is really going to hurt them in the long run.
See, here's the way that I'm sort of looking at it, is we look at First Vietnam's lineup, a decent split pushing lineup, but split pushing is going to be really dangerous because you're up against a Tinker and a Lifestealer and a Queen of Pain. So here's that can pretty much be anywhere at any time, and those supports doing a lot of smoke ganking. That's how MUFC likes to play. So if you're split pushing, you're pretty vulnerable to getting ganked because of the nature of MUFC's lineup. And if you want a 5-man, it's going to be real hard because you don't have anyone building a really fast mech. Looks like Weaver might even think about a hood, possibly a pipe, but that won't be coming out for a while. And even then, March can still clear it off pretty quickly. So hard to 5-man, hard to split push. We'll have to see how the game develops, but I feel like there's going to be way more opportunities for MUFC to punish mispositioning. Top tower about to get denied. It will be. Are they going to look to go with this tower being down? 4 heroes converging on the lane. Lifestealer, oh, there's your rocket. It's going to hit the start. There is rage, so that Dream Coil not going to be too effective. Does catch out TFG, though. He can't rage. He's dropping low. He gets disrupted. Nice job by Winter keeping him alive, but I think TFG going to fall. He will. They get the tower tonight, but they trade a kill for it, and now First Vietnam with the Tombstone drop. Probably not going to go for the tier 2, but perfectly content to get that tower. Meanwhile, FCFC counter pushing, getting the lanes out. So if they can continue to find these pickoffs, then things will pretty much go well for them, but we'll see if they can. I feel like they shouldn't be quite so easy when First Vietnam has basically one reliable way to kill you, and that's the puck.
Yeah, I think without the puck, without Dream Call up, it gets very hard for them to start leading ganks. Rubik Telekinesis is a nice little setup. But he doesn't have anywhere near the farm for a Blink Dagger or Force Staff for any of these initiation items. He can only rely on just walking in and catching people by surprise. But Puck now up to level 9 is actually going to be building an Urn of Shadows here, so just going for a cheap, cost-effective item, deciding the Blink is taking too damn long. And for First Vietnam, I think they're just going to be looking to apply a bit more pressure, because the longer this game goes, it's going to get harder for them to fight up against a Tinker with levels, a Queen of Pain with a BKB, and Lifestealer who, right now, Phase Boots, drum being missed, is Phase Boots just straight into Armlet, is going to be getting harder and harder to kill him. He's sort of building well towards the late game, whereas for the Radiant side, they're not really going to be looking to reach that new peak for some time.
Yeah, especially with Weaver completing a hood. This is a fantastic item for the mid-game and give you some survivability, but it's not an item where you get this, you say, okay, now we go and fight. This is, now I go and farm some more until I have more items, maybe the pipe, probably that next item after it, and, well, it's going to be all down to Lone Druid to provide the damage, and Tinker's a hero who can deal with the bear, just keep on lasering it. It won't actually be able to hit you during the fights if you play it properly, and they have the burst to bring it down with the Demonic Purge, the Lifestealer's Armlet auto attack, so I'm not convinced the Lone Druid bear will do a whole lot in the 5v5 clashes, but we'll see. The Tombstone is still going to be murderous for these supports until Lifestealer can just burst it down quickly during Rage, which he's not quite at that point yet. So MUFC smoked up towards the bottom lane. We're going to see if they're going to find an opening here. Wang Wang and Winter, best friends to the end. The W bros, they're going to find Secret, the one here who's probably hardest to kill. They start with the Purge, the Soul Catcher to follow. Laguna Blade is there, but the Silence on 2. Secret turning this one around. Zap from the Rubik, support's in trouble. Down they will go. The Queen of Pain Scream that was stolen. Typhoon showing off, making things happen. The Lone Druid desperately needs an entangle. Not getting it. No entangles on this Lifestealer, no boots on the Lone Druid bear. Finding it hard to get these kills without them. They're fighting a March. They're dropping low. Chase Misa. TFG has the TP out. Will he just go for it? I'm maybe a bit worried about that entangle. He's going to try in the trees. They need a first hit entangle. They will not get it. He will escape in the end. And, well, 2 for 2 it looks like. 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2. Tinker narrowly escapes that one. Puck going down again, unfortunately. Does have the Urn completed now. Level 9 as well. Or still level 9, I should be saying. As Weaver actually hits level 11 himself, so I think he's not quite highest. He's the highest on the Radiant side, and that's the one thing where MUFC is starting to pull away. They've got a solid XP lead now, over 3k. The gold not quite as substantial, but the XP lead they're getting some of these levels on these big heroes of theirs is really starting to pull away, and these squishy supports on the Radiant side are going to look even squishier and squishier as time goes on because of these high-level key heroes on the MUFC side.
And the cores for MUFC are going to be fairly hard to kill. It's basically going to be Secret who finds those kills, but he's going for an Urn and a bottle. He won't have the Blink soon. Tinker, once he gets his Blink Dagger up, which is going to come probably before that Pucks at the rate he's farming, he could just constantly push out the lanes, farm the Ancients. Lifestealer you're not going to kill unless you get a first hit entangle, which you really can't count on. And Queen of Pain, very mobile. They only have really the Telekinesis lift, possibly the Dream Coil, but again, with no Blink Daggers, can you really get in range to use those? So it's going to be easier for MUFC to find the farm, and it's going to be harder for First Vietnam to find the kills, and I think that's the main reason why I'm favoring them more than the Golder experience. It's just really the hero composition not going to make life as easy for First Vietnam to basically claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, when you're versing a Tinker, it's really hard to get back in the game, and I mean it's hard to even end game. Tinker's a very annoying and frustrating hero to be going up against, whether he's spamming rockets or just spamming March in your faces. Well, Cyberpink, First Vietnam, they decide now's the time to make something happen. Now I'm going to go for a bit of a smoke here. Rubik and Puck, they smoke. They just missed the 2 supports. Shadow Demon and Lena had just passed them in the river, and that would have been a nice find because it's 2 quick and easy kills for him that don't take too much of a contest as long as Puck's there. He does have a level 4 silence, and whoop. Injuries are found. There should be a kill on Wang Wang. He's going to drop the Drink Call here. Just use everything for a solo kill. Here comes Contrast Plate. Looks like he's going to be a bit too late. Orb to the high ground.
No, he did.
Get it.
Oh, that was unfortunate. I mean, they had that smoke gank. Like you said, they just missed the supports, and they saw Lifestealer, and they're just like, well, we're not killing him, so what do we do? Well, we sit around here and hope someone shows up at the ruin. Unfortunately, when someone showed up, a whole party of someone showed up, and then they didn't really get a good trade at all in the end, and Blink Dagger for Puck even farther delayed as a result. So things from UC just looking pretty solid here in the mid-game.
Yeah, now you have the Lifestealer who's got his armlet up already, 1400 gold, so his next item won't be too far off. You've got Tinker, whose Blink Dagger's just about to come online, and then you've got Queen of Pain, who has a finished BKB, so Queen of Pain doesn't have to worry about this Puck initiation in these team fights, and there's no real... It's almost entirely just for this Puck. Rubik Telekinesis and the Spell Steal is there as well, but Queen of Pain can just be playing so aggressive with this BKB.
Yeah, maybe if Rubik can steal Light Strike, right? But they need that extra stun right now because the Puck does not... Oh, open wounds on a creep. I think that was a misclick. We may have seen him go in Thai food there, because he could just jump on this Rubik. And, oh, sorry, I missed that. Looks like Puck goes down at the top lane. Weaver now in the chase, wants some kills, diving Wang Wang, not able to find them. So, once again, this Puck getting picked off, and Secret had a strong mid-game with some nice plays, but just not having that impact. And with all these deaths, it really feels like the primary playmaker for First Vietnam being shut down. What are you going to do? Mid lane, they find the kill on the Lone Druid. He dies again. And his bear is just total food for the Lifestealer. It doesn't have any armor. It doesn't even have boots last I checked. And on Armlet phase boots Lifestealer, just feasts on that one.
Yeah, he's having no problems at all, just keeping this Lone Druid shut down, shut out of this game. And MUFC, if they can find some of these tier 1 towers, well, the tier 1 tower at top as well, bottom lane, they can start to snowball a bit out of control here. They can look for Roshan at some point once they've taken out those tier 1s. Even with that, with the lineup not really geared for taking Roshan, just having a Lena stun coming into play, having Lifesteal tanking things up, they can look to just bring it down slowly and steadily. But for now, the focus seems to be on this tier 1 bottom tower. They've got just 3 heroes there at the moment. FC, he's at mid lane, so it's a split push, and just basically the great thing about this split push is that they're still farming. They've got Queen of Pain still farming at mid lane. They've got 1 to 2 heroes farming at bottom lane, and well, they've got R Contrast player who's not even there. He's farming in their own jungle, so they're split push and split farming more importantly.
Against certain heroes, this would not be so easy. Heroes like Beastmaster with the Hawk, the Scout Tinker when he blinks into the tree line, they could actually punish that. Queen of Pain, they might go in on her mid, but she's got the BKB. Meanwhile, bottom lane, 6 heroes sort of grouping up, thinking about an engagement. Nobody going to commit just yet. The tower will go down. Well, TFG picks up the kill, and, well, the coils drop, but do they actually have the damage? It's Ares who gets burst down in a cloud of flame right off the bat. The additional kill by the March of the Machines. This Puck is very sad, I gotta say. I'm feeling for Secret right now, because he's made some plays, but he just keeps on getting picked off. Top lane, now the siege gonna mount. Lifestealer, or Weaver, a bit, and oh, he's gonna man up on this. He wants to go on TFG, but I don't know if he can actually find this kill. He will time-lapse, he will dive TFG, who's now trapped, pops the dust, but Lifestealer's on the way out. Demon Edge up on the Weaver. He's sort of their lone hope for me at this point, because I don't see anyone else having a big impact as we head towards the mid-game.
Yeah, nice little play there by the Weaver. He time-lapses the laser so he doesn't have that miss percent anymore, and then he easy little pick up on the Tinker. TFG just getting a bit too cocky, as he will instantly buy back. It wants to get right back into putting pressure on the top lane. Meanwhile, it's mid lane. BKB from Queen of Pain. He's sort of playing forcefully, a bit cautious here, but he just goes blinking in now, takes up the Rubik, and this is the power of this BKB.
The spare still has no boots. It's trying to chase. What can it do, though? Oh, no. That's not going to happen.
I'm not a fan of the Maelstrom build when you don't have boots. Normally you see phase boots with the Maelstrom build, just to have that mobility to make sure you're getting those attacks off. But it's only if it's a Radiant build you can get normal boots, but no boots with a Maelstrom, there just isn't a lot of synergy there. I
agree, and they're cheap, they're cost effective, they scale well. Sure, you don't really need the move speed, but having the ability to just path through units, maximizing the number of auto attacks you get off per second is going to make you more efficient. FCFC jumping in on the mid lane, Secret caught in no man's land, picked off, brought down, easy peasy for MUFC right now, and well, their mobility is showing off. It's just constantly more heroes at the point of attack, and once the BKB comes out on the Queen of Pain, you can't kill her. We already talked about why you can't really kill the Tinker or the Lifestealer, so aggression is there when they want it, and when they don't want it, they can easily avoid the fights, and there's just the opportunities for First Vietnam slipping away, it seems. Maybe the Weaver could be the source of the comeback, but realistically, it's going to be tough, because he doesn't scale as well with the items as a lot of these other heroes, and doesn't have that lockdown, doesn't have that innate steroid skill like Rage that's going to give you insane mid-game DPS. So, looking tough for them now.
And even with the hood and treads on Weaver, still can be brought down. Still is relatively squishy in these team fights, and with the Dire team having dust, having all these burst damage, all these nukes, they can look to just chip away at him, and they ultimately bring him down. Having hood, treads, and now going for Demon Edge. Oh, gem as well, so... Well, it's Winter's team, so of course they have a gem.
No surprises there. We heard him talk about it. He's putting his money where his mouth is. Oh, what a disruption right as the Sikuchi happens, but the Light Striker Ray not going to connect. Doesn't matter. Misa still dies in the end. The Laguna Blade comes through, and they pick up another kill, and that's with the hood and treads. That's a relatively tanky Weaver build. Still easy prey.
Yeah, it's going to remain that way, even with these tanky-ish items. If you get caught by Sept Disruption, that was with the Lena stun missing as well. Luckily for MUFC, he just used the Shikuchi, so it wore off not long after. But now MUFC get themselves a tier 1 tower, the last tier 1 tower standing, and well, they're not done. They're going to go right in on Secret at the top. Nope, just drops an open wounds and backs off.
Yeah, meanwhile, TFG keeping that bottom lane push. Still no boot. Is he going back for a relic? I'm not sure what he's building here, but he's had the money for a Hyperstone for quite some time. Still not purchasing that one either. And Boss doing some unusual things with his item build. We'll see what he pulls out of the hat. But with the Basher now up on the lifestealer, we haven't even seen MUFC go for Infest bombs, but they really could. This lone druid's been parked bottom largely by himself, and with lifestealer plus Queen of Pain or lifestealer plus Tinker, they should have the burst to bring him down. So I don't know how much how much longer this lone druid is actually going to be safe. They smoke up behind him, so now if they go in, it will be bad. But it looks like MUFC just content to outfarm them, and they feel they have this one late game, and I kind of agree.
Yeah, especially with the lead they're starting to accrue here. Lena with a Blink Dagger, the supports are doing well on MUFC side. Arcane Boots and the Gem on Winter with a ton of wards, and more Tinker. Ghost Scepter, 1100 gold, so I imagine we'll start seeing the making of a Side of the Vise next. So, all in all, their heroes are looking really good as far as farm goes, and that kill on the Weaver at top lane, ending that big kill streak, is shutting down the one hero on this Vietnamese side who was doing particularly well. The rest of them, Lone Druid, got pressured really hard early game, and then the Puck, well, he's got absolutely nothing right now. Still, he's still looking for that Blink Dagger.
Look at his net worth. He's lower than the Lena. We've been saying he's poor for a while. He is just not farmed. I mean, it's one thing to die a lot, but he hasn't farmed either. Sitting right now on, what is his creep score? 77 CS. So low. When you look at the Queen of Pain, his opponent mid, double his CS, and 7-0-3, so having 10 deaths on this Puck. 10 deaths, half the farm. Not looking good for Secret. He's had a couple of unfortunate fights earlier in the game, and now he just feels helpless. And Puck is a hero that you want to be controlling the tempo with, not being controlled by the enemy team. But right now, he just doesn't know that he can fight, and, well, he can't anymore. It's unfortunate. Now they're going to give up Roche. MUFC with this Aegis, with the Sight Device on the Queen of Pain coming out soon, and Tinker, Ghost Scepter, Blink Dagger, they can start to siege First Vietnam, and First Vietnam are going to have a very hard time because, guys, here's the question. Who starts the fight for this team? Does Puck walk in? I mean, they don't really have anyone to start the fight, and if they're getting siege, they're fighting in March, and that's just not going to go well for them either.
Yeah, I don't see them looking to... I mean, for MUFC, at this point, they can just start slow sieging. They take these out of towers, and now with this Aegis on their side, they can take tower by tower, then look even to go high ground if they've still got the Aegis. And, well, for First Vietnam, they're going for a bit of a split push, but how do you split push against a Tinker? Tinker just comes back, spams the march, pushes the wave out, and then he can rejoin his team at any moment. Puck's looking for him in the trees with an orbit top lane, but he's not going to find anything right now.
And now we see the Infest bombs. A little bit late compared to what your normal timings are, but it's going to be effective nonetheless. They're actually going bottom. They're going to deward. This Queen of Pain was spotted. The Infest, however, was not. And First Vietnam, just if they come to defend this tower, whoever does is going to die. So this tower pretty much forfeit unless they all TP to the tier 3, use the glyph, which they actually don't have, and all, then walk up to the lane. But realistically, you're just giving the tower up. So the tier 2 is going to drop bottom. Lone Druid, still nothing purchased, up to 4.2k. I wonder if Boss just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, it really... when you save this much gold, you have to think Radiant, but no boots on his bear with a Maelstrom. This is...
It's going to be food for the Lifestealer.
Very peculiar build, and tower goes down to the die, and here goes the Lifestealer bomb. It's a blink in from the Queen of Pain. They'll bring down the Lone Druid with ease. Weaver needs to be very, very careful. There's a gem lurking around Lena, gets hit by the swarm. Now also backing off. Oh, Weaver. No purge of disruption. He's Hex, and he's going to be brought down here. The bash from the Lifestealer, who's trying to time-lapse it, doesn't succeed, and Tombstone going to be brought down by FCFC with the help of the Lifestealer Hon Trash Pro. And, well, two heroes on the sidelines. They've still got the Aegis. They've still got BKB on the Queen of Pain. Things looking really good for MUFC now.
Blinking again. Scream to fly. Secret will dodge that one. Now your Shadow Strike. That won't be dodged. She's got the ult. She's got the BKB and the Aegis. You do not want to initiate upon her. Wayne blinks in. Only gets the one hero stun. Thought he had two. He's going to drop a Laguna here. No, he won't, because FCFC stands and delivers a massive Queen of Pain ult. That's 4 heroes dead. Blinking on forward. Once Typhoon. Blinking from TFG. Has the Dagon. Here we go. Dagon 5, Ethereal Blade. Probably won't even finish it, but he's going that direction. And now this looks to be the end of the base, at least the first lane of Rax. And once you get one with the Tinker, Queen of Pain, and Lifestealer, you can be anywhere with the Infest Bombs, with the March. You can constantly push the lanes, and it's going to be even harder and harder for First Vietnam to find the openings. They're just never going to have a Blink Dagger on this Puck. I would say this could go another 20 minutes, and I'm not convinced they'll have one. Not looking good for First Vietnam. Denied their Wisp, and then didn't seem to know what to do once we get to this point in the game.
Yeah, and 29 minutes in, being down a Rax as well as this having this much of an item disadvantage. I don't see this going for another 20 minutes. MUFC, if they play this right, if they don't make many mistakes, this is their game to lose now. So for First Vietnam, if they've just got to be really patient, wait for any small little hero out of position, and as soon as you see it, you jump, you pounce, and well, Lone Druid, it is going to be a Radiance. Very Maelstrom, I'm not sure why he picks up this item if he is going to go back for the Relic and the Radiance, but he does decide to do so. It will help once he has it up as far as defending goes, but it really feels like it's too little too late. Queen of Pain now has a Maelstrom of her own. FZFZ says, I can do some damage of my own.
They're just going to be able to burst the bear down. The issue with going this build is it delays your Assault Cuirass by so much that, or your Vlads for that matter, anything to give the bear a little plus armor, that it's just total food. The bear won't actually be able to fight. They can even just gank the bear if it's split pushing a lane with the Radiance. If the Lifestealer and Queen of Pain show up, they'll kill it. It's not going to be able to go back because it will be Shadow Struck, it will be taking auto attacks, so you won't be able to recall it. It'll die almost instantly. This build, I mean, more than anything, it's not even the fact that Radiance and Maelstrom aren't really that cost-effective as a comp. Oh, they're going in. There's your Blink Bomb. Easy kill. Pick off the Rubik. And meanwhile, Undying in the middle of the party. Wants to go. Secret is here as well. Jumping onto Wang Wang, but not actually going to connect with that orb. Now FCFC entangled up. Will BKB here. Still manning up. Still fighting. Wang Wang's still alive. In comes the Tinker. Drops the Dagon. Brings the Pain. Down they all go. And what can Lone Druid do at this point? His bear's dead, not dead, but forced to run back to the base. And yeah, this build is not gonna pull them back into the game. This looks to be the death knell for First Vietnam in Game 1. With that big fight, now they can push mid. They've got the AC, they've got that minus armor for the tower, and First Vietnam not even defending their base.
Yeah, it seems like MUFC have everything they need at this point to end the game, and like you said, no one really defending. Blinking from FCFC, they're gonna find boss once again for good measure. Oh, or will they?
They have that Laguna. They have that Scream. They're going to jump in. They pick him off. Queen of Pain, deep in enemy territory, has the Aegis, though. Here she comes.
Well, MUFC blinking from the Tinker. Tinker going to burst down the Rubik. Absolutely zapped to pieces here. Tombstone going to get dropped to the ground here, but this looks like the end of Undying. Misa just can scurry away. Shikuchi back to Fountain. More March layers being dropped, and with that, well, it's 3 down for First Vietnam, and a lot more is going to be down at the mid lane. Rax is down. GG going to be coming out any second now.
Yeah, and you know, you look at this First Vietnam team, they had first pick this game. They got what they wanted, which was Radiant side as well as first pick. The Weaver, the Wisp was banned. They couldn't really deal with it. Got to imagine MSC is going to ban that Wisp again and say, you couldn't beat us without Wisp. We're going to force you to do it. Until you can, why not take away what's been your most successful weapon? Can First Vietnam come up with a solution to the problem of not having Wisp? We'll have to see, but I imagine we're going to see it banned again in game number 2.
Yeah, I don't see why not here in MUFC. Why take any chances here in such a big, important tournament such as the G1 League? There's so much prize money at stake. The prize money actually just being announced recently. I think it ends up being about 64,000 US dollars.
Yeah, 330,000 RMB. Another blink in, another laser kill. Easy peasy, but
the biggest prize pool after the international.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely massive.
It is massive, and the format until you get into the later stages of the tournament is rather unforgiving. It's single elimination, best out of 3 for this stage until we get down to 4 teams. So we have 16 teams when we start phase 2. We're going to end with 4, and then those 4 teams move on to phase 3, where they will be playing with the other 4 teams that were at your LAN finals last tournament. Orange, LGD China, DK, and Invictus Gaming. More fountain camping from TFG, but it's a really unforgiving format. So like you said, why take chances when there's so much prize money and when there's so little margin for error?
It's unforgiving, and at the same, also a lot of it depending on your bracket. I know a few teams thinking, "Well, our bracket looks pretty hard," but it's just the nature of the format. And well, here we see MUFC taking advantage of what they've been given. They take game number 1. We'll have to see if First Vietnam can come back in game number 2, though, LD. Yeah,
it's going to be tough, guys. But stay tuned, guys. We have more action coming up. This is only game 1 of a best out of 3. And after this one is over, we will come back later today with Rattlesnake versus Gizmo. There are 2 RSs in this tournament, just to confuse me. I think I even posted on my Facebook it was Rising Stars. But they play tomorrow. It's actually going to be Lanham's new team. Interested to see them in action. That should be good. That's coming up later today. But before we get there, we got to wrap this series up. Will it be MUFC taking it in a clean toe sweep? Will it be First Vietnam? MUFC.com, getting a Wisp. Maybe MUFC doesn't ban it. And then before CO2 Game 3, well, we'll find out. Stay tuned. More G1 League action coming up. And one last thing. If you guys are watching this on Twitch TV, you're doing it wrong. Go to g1.2p.com, support the G1 League. Those views through their website directly support the tournament and encourage them to do more for the Western audience. They have an English website. They have some good coverage. I've been in talks with basically one of their staffers that is overseeing the website, and they do have plans to start adding unique content there moving forward if possible. So make sure to watch through their website, support us, support the G1 League, g1.2p.com, and stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next.